In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, the Board Secretary has forwarded notice of this meeting for advertising by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Secaucus Town Hall on the bulletin board of the Education Administration Building, as well as notice being provided to the Bergen Record, Jersey Journal, and District website.
Stand for the salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Bartletta?
Present.
Mr. Bolognino? Ms. Callie?
Present.
Ms. Eccles?
Here.
Mr. Lewis?
Present.
Mr. McStowe?
Here.
Ms. O'Connell?
Here.
Mr. Patel?
Here.
Dr. Strobert? You're muted, Dr. Strobert.
Here.
Minutes. I need a motion for approval of minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 18th. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bartletta?
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino?
Yes.
Ms. Callie?
Yes.
Ms. Eccles?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. McStowe?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Patel?
Yes.
Dr. Strobert? You're muted, Dr. Strobert.
Yes.
I believe we have a showcase.
Good evening, everyone. This is the first time we've had students at a showcase of success at a board meeting since February of last year. So I want to thank our students and Mrs. Capabianco for being here. Secaucus High School Robotics Club recently participated in their first ever competition. It was the first of two national virtual competitions with the Bot Bowl organization. The Robotics Club members built and programmed two robots that completed a course on a robotics board. In each round, the teams with the most points would advance. Out of 33 registered teams, Secaucus High School placed first in the seeding rounds and second in the double elimination rounds. They were undefeated moving into the final round. The team was also awarded Judge's Choice based on the number of points scored during successful runs and second place overall. So congratulations to Mrs. Capabianco, who is the club advisor, and to the students. Some of them are here today, and the other ones, from what I'm told, are participating virtually. We do have certificates for our students. So as I call your name, please come to the front, and certificate will be handed to you by Mrs. Capabianco over by the piano. Anay Tilu. Naija Agarwal. Aditya Shroff. Mahir Wadwani. Rushe Bavsar. Ayush Agarwal. Al Hassan. Rafael Miguel. Vatsal Duividi. Manish Kandapali. Dev Shandarana. Danny Argudo. Anav Pandey. Priya Patel. James Cottrell. Yancy Daruki, Shreya Barawal, and Ryan Body. Congratulations. There are 4 trophies, robot trophies up to the front there that the students brought back to Secaucus High School. So congratulations. Thank you, Mrs. Capian. Good job, students. Thank you. Good evening once again. Steve Ujani, principal of Secaucus High School. The Secaucus High School community and I are thrilled to have a good portion of our student population attending in-person instruction 5 days a week. It has been wonderful to see our students once again interacting with each other in the hallways and participating in class. Our students bring energy and enthusiasm to our school building, and we are grateful for their return. The science fair this year will be held outside on the Secaucus High School Middle School campus on May 11th. Judging will be done virtually, and we are currently in the need of judges, so anyone who is interested in judging can sign up on our website. All Secaucus High School students have made course requests for the 2021-22 school year, and parents are currently in the process of reviewing them. We will be accepting applications for the Summer Academy beginning tomorrow. High school course offerings include geometry, pre-calculus, physics, and English 11 honors. And today marks the beginning of marking period 4. Students and parents will be able to view marking period 3 grades on the parent portal beginning April 27th. And the academic intervention program will begin May 1st, and we currently have 62 students who are signed up for the program. And the AP testing window begins May 6th and ends June 10th. AP testing will be done both virtual and in person this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reggiani. Good evening, Christine Candela, principal of Secaucus Middle School. I first wanted to congratulate Ms. Capobianco and all my former students for their wonderful achievements. That's pretty amazing. And I'm really glad that they're continuing with STEM in high school. This week, we welcomed back 238 students to the middle school. Not only was it their first week back with both cohorts combined, it was also a Spirit Week. Seeing our students filling the hallways while dressing up each day made the hallways come alive and all of our teachers and staff very happy. We hope the students shared the feeling and are excited to see their friends and teachers in person once again. Tomorrow is Fancy Friday, so we're hoping for some red carpet looks. Thanks to receiving the support of the Board of Education, Superintendent, and funding for COVID relief measures, we are able to implement a Saturday academic program, spearheaded by our guidance supervisor, Mrs. Christina Wiswasser, to help students identify markers of proficiency that have not yet been met due to struggles with virtual learning. We are confident that this in-person intervention will meet the needs of our students and get them back on track. We are looking forward to planning more events for our in-person and virtual students. Mr. Sonnet is working on an outdoor concert for June, and our science students are preparing for next month's fair. This year we have 170 projects, and each project needs to be judged virtually 3 times. There is a flyer on the middle school website and the high school website, and our Facebook pages for community members who might be interested in judging. Please click the link or scan the code on the flyer to fill out the Google form, and feel free to share this to any contacts you have in the STEM fields who may be interested in judging. Finally, I would like to wish all the students in both the high school and the middle school the best of luck, filming their performance this weekend for the annual school play. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Candela.
Good evening, Dr. Danielle Garzone, principal of Clarendon School. On Monday, April 19th, we welcomed all of our hybrid Clarendon Bees back into the building. Filled with excitement, students entered the building, and for many of them, the first time since March of last year. Stopping by every classroom, it was incredible to see the students excited to be in school learning with their friends. It warmed my heart to see so many of our students back in the classrooms. We truly miss seeing them every day. We kicked off our second annual Boosterthon PTA event. This year, all students, whether in person or virtual, are participating in fun and exciting daily dance fit adventures while learning about how to live life with great character. We are looking forward to our virtual Dance Fit Fun Run event on April 28th. On April 21st, we celebrated Administrative Professionals Day. I'd like to thank Colleen Santaniello, Sharon Voley, and Erica DeMays for their hard work and dedication. I am lucky to work alongside these ladies who help our school run smoothly every day. We have a few upcoming events. On April 27th is Picture Day at Clarendon School. All virtual and in-person students have a schedule to attend either during the day or after school. On April 28th is our virtual Dance Fit Boosterthon Fun Run event. I can't shout out enough to thank all of our staff for the hard work and dedication that they do each day. They continue to inspire, encourage, and support our students. You are incredible, and I am proud to be part of such an amazing team of educators. To our students, you are doing a wonderful job each day. And I'd like to close by thanking our families for everything you do. Your cooperation, patience, and support is greatly appreciated. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Garzon.
Mr. Viviani will be back. Good evening, Rob Valenti, principal of Huber Street School. As you know, we opened our doors to all students in town for the first time in over 400 days. Huber Street School welcomed back students from both cohorts A and B, and it has been great seeing their faces every day, but even better to hear laughter in the building. Looking ahead, Huber Street School and the Millrick School students will have the opportunity to have their school pictures taken on Friday, April 30th. And during the week of May 3rd, we will be celebrating Arbor Day by cleaning the Huber Street grounds and planting a tree in the front of our school. As Dr. Garzon mentioned, yesterday was Administrative Professionals Day. Having people like Marilyn Sinisi at the Millrick School and Kim Pasquarello and Colleen Mason at Huber Street School is invaluable. They are the eyes, ears, and voice of our school. They're the ones with the answers. They're typically the first voice that people hear, and they're the ones that people go to, the public and the students, for questions. The words thank you don't quite cover how much I appreciate them and what they do. Also, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Ms. Capobianco and her students. It's so nice to see the program building and succeeding and thriving the way that it is. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti. Yes, yes.
Good evening once again. I also have a sports update, athletic update from Mr. Voorhees. We have several students as we came to the end of our third athletic season, several students who received all division titles. Congratulations to students from our bowling team. First team, all division, Simon Salinas. First team, all division, finalist this year, ranked #1 bowler for high school is Selena Chinchilla. And second team, all division bowling, Anthony Franks. Basketball team, as I mentioned at the last Board of Education meeting, NJIC, they were the NJIC Division IV championship team. Our coach, Tom Curry, was coach of the year. And Jamling Lama is now the all-time leading basketball scorer, 1,300 points. Congratulations to boys basketball. Jamling Lama is also first team all division. He's third team all New Jersey. And Patrick Pantiliano, first team all division. Mark Dennert, second team all division. Kevin Kokamani, second team all division. And girls basketball, another NJIC state champion. Congratulations to Lindsay Ross, first team all division, first team all conference, first team all New Jersey. Congratulations to Danielle Pichetti, first team all division, second team all conference, second team all New Jersey, group 2. Nicole Parisi, first team All Division, honorable mention, All Conference. Mia Cruz, first team All Division, honorable mention, All Conference. Zoe Sakadas, second team All Division. Marisha Farada, second team All Division. Nicole Roca, second team All Division. And their coach, John Sterling, is the NJIC Division 4 Coach of the Year. Our cheering team has finished first place as the high school grand champions and second place, which is new. We just found this out, second place at the New Jersey State Championship, cheerleading championship. Our volleyball team also won the NJIC Division 4 championship. Congratulations to our swim team. Boys first team, 100-meter breaststroke, Matthew Sun. Second team, 200 IM, Matthew Sun, and 50 freestyle, Aiden Del Rosario. Honorable mention, 200 freestyle, Aiden Del Rosario, and 400 freestyle relay, Aiden Del Rosario, Gabriela Del Rosario, Matthew Sun, and Daniel Furman. And for Secaucus High School girls swim team, first team, 100 butterfly, Haley Nowak. Second team, medley relay, Sophia Lee, Margaret Furman, Haley Nowak, Grace Bowers, and alternate, Shahad Hassan. 200 freestyle relay, Sophia Lee, Shahad Hassan, Deborah Bairu, Margaret Furman. And honorable mention, 200 freestyle, Grace Bowers, and 100 breaststroke, Margaret Furman. Congratulations. Also want to point out that Ms. Capabianco is also the swim coach. Good job, Ms. Capabianco. Thank you, everyone.
No correspondence.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank all of you for coming this evening. It's so great to finally see some of our students back at the board meeting, so thank you. Also, congratulations. Your dedication and determination to science and engineering are extraordinary, and you should know that these skills will definitely aid in your future. And we're very proud of you. And like I said, it's so great to have you as our first students to come back to a board meeting to be showcased. So congratulations and thank you to all of you. I would also like to join Mr. Vigiani in congratulating all of our athletes. Although this year was like no other for our sports programs, we were grateful that so many of our students had the opportunity to participate in the activities that they love so much. What is even more exciting is the success that they have all had during these seasons, as Mr. Vigiani had just shared with us. Once again, I would like to congratulate all of the athletes for their individual honors, and specifically the cheerleading team for finishing first place at the high school grand champions and the second place at the New Jersey cheering championship, and also the volleyball team who won the NJIC Division 4 championship. What great seasons we in Secaucus had this year. Lastly, after the last few months have proved to be extremely difficult for everyone, I am happy to report how great our reopening and return of our students 5 days a week was. We are so happy to report that we had every day now, we have over 1,000 students that come every day for school for an in-person instruction experience. Although this return has been great, please understand that we unfortunately still have been faced with several positive COVID cases. I am happy to share that we are contact tracing very diligently in order to make sure that only those students who are exposed quarantine. Doing this will allow us to keep the schools open as much as possible while continuing to keep everyone safe. As always, I would like to thank the Board of Education and our mayor for working with us as we navigate our district through these times. Thank you. This evening, we had 2 HIB investigations this month, and neither were confirmed as an HIB.
Make a motion to accept the harassment, intimidation, and bullying findings as reported by the superintendent and are available at the administrative offices for review.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bartletta,
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino, Ms. Callie,
Yes.
Ms. Eccles,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McStowe,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Dr. Strober.
Yes. Business Administrator?
Yes, I do have a report tonight. We'd like to add Resolution R 1.15 under Governance, approval to appoint teachers to the Saturday Academic Intervention Program. That's it. Thank you.
That's it? Do we have anybody on the agenda?
No.
No. Okay, so be it. School governance?
I make a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve and adopt resolutions R 1.01 through R 1.15 and motion M 1.01 through M 1.05, as described below.
Second. Any discussion? None heard, so be it. Roll call.
Mr. Bartletta,
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino,
Yes.
Ms. Callie,
Yes.
Ms. Eccles,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McStowe,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell,
Yes, but I do want to make a note that though I'm voting yes for R 1.15, I'm voting for that because I know it's a program that will help our students. I do want to make note that I do have a problem with how the process is.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Dr. Strober.
Yes. Policy.
I'd like to make a recommendation to accept the policies below as approved by the superintendent.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Bartletta,
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino,
Yes.
Ms. Callie,
Yes.
Ms. Eccles,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McStowe,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Dr. Strober.
Yes. Shared services,
No report at this time.
legislation,
No report at this time.
education committee.
I would
curriculum.
like to recommend to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve and adopt resolutions R 5.01 through R 5.05 as described below.
Second. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Bartletta,
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino,
Yes.
Ms. Callie,
Yes.
Ms. Eccles,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McStowe,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Dr. Strober.
Yes. I think we already heard athletics. School technology,
No report at this time.
okay, operations, finance.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the Business Administrator Board Secretary to approve and adopt resolutions R 8.01 through R 8.10 as described below.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Bartletta,
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino,
Yes.
Ms. Callie,
Yes.
Ms. Eccles,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McStowe,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Dr. Strober.
Yes. Safety, buildings and grounds.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the Business Administrator Board Secretary to approve and adopt resolutions R 9.01 and motion M 9.01 as described below.
Discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Bartletta,
Yes.
Mr. Bolognino,
Yes.
Ms. Callie,
Yes.
Ms. Eccles,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McStowe,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Dr. Strober.
Yes. Technology, no report.
No report.
Do we have anybody on the public agenda? You're up, Stephen.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Fogarty. I'm the attorney for the Secaucus School District. This meeting is open to the public for the purpose of addressing any subject matter that is pertinent to and or directly related to the operation of the Secaucus Public School District. Residents wishing to speak on such items must sign the register provided for this purpose and are required to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. Comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. The board may or may not respond to issues raised by members of the public at the time they are raised, but will provide a response if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Please note that the board will not respond to comments regarding students or board employees in light of the privacy rights attendant to those individuals. Moreover, the board discourages comments about such individuals and will not be responsible for those comments. Members of the public who choose to speak during the public session should carefully consider their comments since they could be held personally liable for any statements they make. Finally, please note that in accordance with District Policy Number 1100, the board will not officially comment or respond to any matter mentioned unless it can confirm that the matter has first been brought to the attention of the appropriate school personnel in an attempt to resolve the issue informally. Your cooperation is appreciated. Thank you.
Colleen Behan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Colleen Behan. I live at 1082 Farm Road, and I have a Secaucus Middle School student. Mostly, I just wanted to come back tonight to say thank you to everybody for getting our students in, those that want to be there for the 5 days. My son is very happy to be back in school 5 days. He's very happy to be seeing friends who he hasn't seen because they were in another cohort. So thank you for that, and I've heard a lot of similar stories. As we think about September, as much as we'd all like to be back in a more normalized situation, if that's not going to be the case, and I know everyone here knows this, but I think it's worth repeating, for a lot of families, the more time in the classroom in front of the teacher for a lot of our students, the better. And finally, I just wanted to say that I can't stress enough the importance of communication to some of us. I'm sure that you are actively planning for September, and without details about what might be on the table, what might not be on the table and why, what the best case scenario might be, we are left to make assumptions, and I don't think that really benefits any of us. We're a team, and I feel that we're increasingly in partnership where the education of our children is concerned, and I think it would be nice if we could have more of a conversation about what we're up against and what we're all trying to achieve instead of just strictly formal communication. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Jerry, do I have anyone online? I'm blank up here. My screen is blank.
Hello. So,
Okay, all right, we have Monica Burkers.
Ruby's on.
Oh, okay, Ruby, I'm sorry.
that's okay. My name is Ruby Kish. I live at 41 Creekside Court. I would like to start first by echoing Colleen's comments and thanking the Board of Education, the superintendent, teachers, staff, administrators, everyone who made it possible for our students to come back for these 5 half days. I would like to especially say thank you on behalf of our preschool students with disabilities and their parents. For the first time since September, our preschool students with disabilities are being provided with the same number of in-person hours as all of our other students. And for students who could benefit the most from in-person learning, this really means a lot. I'm very grateful that they have this opportunity. I am also here to say that 5 half days is just not enough. I'm not going to repeat what I said at the last board meeting, but for students with disabilities, every single day that they can be in that classroom, the more hours they can be in that classroom will make a difference, a long-term impact on their future success. So we should look to try and move towards 5 full days even now. want to remind everyone about our last Board of Education meeting. Superintendent Montesano came out with a plan that seemed very well thought out and detailed as to how our students could return for a full day of in-person learning. I was impressed at the thought that went into how to accommodate students for lunch. There were plans for students to be able to leave and return, for students to be able to leave and log on remotely. I thought it was great that so much thought had been put into this plan. And so I'm here before you asking, what happened to that plan? As soon as the CDC came out with guidance that said the social distancing was now 3 feet instead of 6 feet, we never heard about this full day plan again. And it occurs to me that a very simple survey, the type of survey that the district is very well versed in, could have been sent out to all the parents of students planning on returning to ask what their lunch option would have been. Would they stay or would they be picked up? Because it's very likely that enough students would have chosen to go home for lunch that the remaining students could have safely social distanced in their classroom and eaten lunch. The option for a full day was there. And I'm bringing this up because I think that option is still there now. And if we want to look to a district that made a last minute change, look at what happened in Jersey City. They came out on Sunday and said, we're not reopening. Just yesterday night, they came out and said, well, we're reconsidering, we will reopen. And I want to quote from their Board of Education. The increased concerns of parents, especially those with young children, made us reconsider. So I'm asking you all to please reconsider the 5 half days. Look at the plan that was already established prior to the CDC guidelines changing. It was already there. We can implement it, send out that survey, do the work to make it happen. I believe it can happen. And I do not want to hear that we are close to the end of the school year. We just need to wait it out and start fresh in September. And I don't want to hear that because for students with disabilities, especially our youngest students, every hour counts. Every hour makes a difference. I'm not talking about an 8th grader who's doing really well in school and can manage. I'm talking about students who have lost so much and they need every minute in order to catch up. So I tried a lot to understand how we got here, why we don't have a district that is laser focused on bringing students back safely. And I think it all goes back to last summer when the reopening plan was first developed, when the Road Back plan was created. At the time, the district was supposed to get input from all the stakeholders, including parents. And this was supposed to happen through something called a restart committee. New Jersey had guidance on these restart committees. And I want to quote from that guidance that these committees should reflect the diversity of the school community, including those representing students with disabilities, whose families speak languages other than English at home, and who reflect diverse racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic demographics. So we did have a restart committee. It was composed of 18 individuals, all school administrators except for Mr. Jim Clancy, who represented the town, and 2 school board members. So guess who was representing the parents in this restart committee? It was those 2 school board members who happened to have students in the district. However, I do not remember those members reaching out to the wider community. I don't remember any town hall meetings with us to get our input. Furthermore, in a district where 70% of students are minorities, this restart committee failed to represent the diversity of Sea Caucus. So moving forward, as we must do, I am asking for 2 things. Number 1, please consider 5 full days. Again, I do not want to hear that we're close to the end of the school year. And also, I would like to remind you that the plan is there. It's ready to go. It was discussed at the last Board of Education meeting. I know it can be done. I know it was discussed. Please try and implement it. For those students that need that time, every day makes a difference. And second, I'd like for the Board of Education to revisit this restart committee. I don't know if it's functioning anymore, but whoever is providing input on these plans, parents need to have a seat at the table, parents of diverse backgrounds, parents of students with disabilities. So please consider reconvening a restart committee that adequately represents parent viewpoints. The Board of Education should consider holding town hall meetings to talk to constituents. You represent us. You hear from us at these meetings, but we never hear from you. We don't know the thought process behind these decisions. I genuinely believe that if parents had input, if we could have a discussion with the school board, with our administrators, we could come to decisions that really meet the needs of all of our students. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you guys for allowing me this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Monica Burgess?
Checking to make sure you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Monica Burkus, 19 Schmitz Place. Last time I spoke with you all, I gave a pretty good day in the life glimpse of the mental health deterioration my kids and I know many other kids have faced due to the school's position to remain closed for the year. Essentially closed, even though my kids attended in person when it was offered, 8 hours per week of cohort learning, while teachers had to tend to both in-person and virtual students. It really provided next to nothing in value, and I think I communicated that. But I was shocked when the days following that not one person from the panel or the school reached out as I compared my son's mental health to the importance of physical health of other people. I was especially disappointed given my relationship with the schools. Many of you on the panel know me directly or indirectly. I've been a sub in the schools for years. I'm no stranger to board meetings. I've attended these meetings well beyond COVID-19 times. I volunteered my time on a CERC committee, which focused on improving community relations between parents and the schools. Some of you on the panel here were alongside with me. I know you through sports programs, fundraisers, even just throughout the community, yet not one person contacted me to see what the effects were of the other side of COVID and how they were in my home. I guess the health focus is really about the outcome of a nasal swab test. Having said that, for this reason, I want to give my personal and heartfelt thanks to my son's science teacher, Mr. Mraz, and guidance counselor, Ms. Boxon. Mr. Mraz saw my son's decline happening. My son's grades were slipping and his spirit was breaking. He talked to him, he motivated him, he kept on him. He even recommended him to participate in a new club. He's a special teacher for seeing this, and I thank him so much for taking the time to uplift his spirit. He deserves acknowledgement tonight. So thank you, Mr. Mraz. Ms. Boxon was also there for us this past year as multiple times in a moment's notice. There's not one email or phone call she's missed, and she's been instrumental in helping my sons with their struggles, especially related to their grades, which have slipped tremendously through this whole thing. Thank you, Ms. Boxon. Outside of this, I will say I was personally relieved and happy to hear the announcement of full half-day instruction. I know many parents are going to be advocating for more, and I support them for their fight. As a parent, I can tell you I can already see a difference and an improvement in my kids' mental health. I'm happy for them. Half days is a good start. As I said last time, the hazards of full day mask wearing, especially with children, will not work as a solution for my kids. I wish we could have started 5 half days sooner. I think we could have done better for our kids sooner, but we're going in the step in the right direction for their emotional and mental well-being. And for that, I give you all recognition. Thank you. We should continue to build on this progress. Remember, the real crisis affecting our kids is not COVID-19, it's their mental health. I pointed out last time that new school studies show that suicides are up, eating disorders are up, alcohol and drug dependency issues are through the roof, and recent studies show that 40% of children that had no previous mental health issue are now experiencing mental health deterioration. And I want you all to pay attention to this. I will continue to advocate for a full and normal reopen in September. They need lunch, they need their lockers, they need socialization, and they need their smiles back. Let's start listening to the science and not just the swab. I hope to be part of the solution along with a community and school that I truly love dearly. Once again, any person on the panel, I welcome to provide comments, any comments at all. Thank you.
Alexander Brown's mother. My name is Nathalie Brown, and I reside at 1078 Farm Road. The reason that I would like to speak is to share a recommendation as well as a question. As I have been preparing my children for the remainder of the school year, my husband and I have taken the initiative of having our children assessed with the Orton-Gillingham assessment tool. We have secured tutors for them to help them successfully complete this academic year in the way that it is. And so this is something that we as a family are able to do. Not every Sea Caucus family is able to do so. So I share this with you as a recommendation. I know it has been said that children in our district are assessed throughout the year in different ways. But I believe as an educator, it would be helpful to assess our children with a formalized tool prior to the end of this academic year so that teachers as well as parents know where our children are academically so that we as parents know what to do this summer and what resources we can secure for them. But the other part, when we look at the restart plan, is also, I think that we as a collective body, the board, as well as parents and other community stakeholders, can look at putting together something this summer that can be a remediation for some children, a refresher for others, and it could be something as short as 4 weeks, an AM and PM session, something that focuses on reading and maybe math, to give our children a chance to start the next academic year, not with as much of a melt that they would traditionally get over the summer. They're already dealing with whatever regression that they're having of what's happened over the last year. But what a benefit it would be for them to have an opportunity to learn in a less stressful environment over the summer with their peers, and a short term, that they're not looking at a daunting 8-hour day if that's what the issue is, and in smaller groups so that they can get the attention that they need. I'm sure that CARES Act funding and other dollars that were allocated have been depleted. But when we look at dollars that have been allocated for traditional summer programs and things like that, I think that is something that we should really consider. When we look at programs like Upward Bound and other paid opportunities that are hosted at colleges and universities that are in our neighboring communities, or even the annex that's here through Hudson Community College, I do believe that we could come up with a solution to provide our children with some foundational skills and resources so that they can be successful in the fall. When we talk about the awards and the recognitions that we've gotten recently with the ratings and rankings, as someone who's filled out those forms, they mean, for me as a person and a professional, they mean very minimal. What really, really means something is when we see our children thrive and succeed. The rankings are just a tool. It's really what we put in place for our children to really go out in the world and produce. So I think this is an opportunity for us to really put our money where our mouth is, to put our feet to the ground and work as a community. There are some things that we're not going to be able to fix. For a lot of different reasons, but I do believe the summer is a starting place for us to do what is right by our children. So my question is, what tool will be put in place to formally assess our children? I know it's been said that this will be done probably in September. What will that tool be, and can consideration be given for this to happen before the end of the school year this year?
So if you don't mind.
Sure, please.
So actually, I appreciate your feedback to us, and please know that we already are finalizing our plans for the summer, which include full summer programs throughout the entire summer for our students in both math and ELA. So we are already doing that. So we thank you for that suggestion, feedback, but we already have those plans. And actually, not only do we have those plans that will carry through the summer, but they're going to carry right through the fall. So that way, when the students return to school, even though they'll have moved to the next grade, we still want to continue to close the gap, which will allow them to have more success into their next grade. So we have made plans for that already. As Mr. Vigiani had shared and Ms. Candela, our Closing the Gap programs will already be starting for our middle and high school now. So we kind of do feel that we're ahead of the game. We're ready to go in the summer, like I said. And we are using a number of tools, and a couple of them are different because we just found out last week that the state assessments will no longer be, and that was going to be a tool that we used. So now we're kind of reassessing what tools we're going to use now, going into the summer for these programs, and then what tools we're going to use in September to start the year off correctly. So we are in the midst of doing that right now. We have no problem sharing that information once we finalize it, but we are in the process of having all those programs starting this summer.
Okay. And I would like to publicly share that and extending myself, if there's anything that I can do as a parent to help offer that communication, please know that I am available. I will make myself available if there's anything that I can do to help communicate whatever you need to parents.
Thank you.
That is an option that I extend to you, as well as Mr. Valenti as the principal of my children's school.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like we have a Ruben Alarcon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. How is it going? My name is Ruben Alarcon. My wife is also here. My name is Ruben Alarcon. We live on 227 Mahler Street. My son, Eric, is 3 years old. He has an IEP. And we're very concerned about the lunch issue. Or snack issue, let's say, because he's, again, like I said, he's only 3 years old, and he's not allowed to have a snack. And we hear that they're having breakfast in the school, they're eating later on, supposedly. Is that what it is? But I think that's ridiculous. How come a 3-year-old can have a snack? And then the solution is, oh, we'll have them go outside if weather permitting. So if it rains, my son doesn't eat. You know, and we try to stuff him with food, but you know, he doesn't understand that he has to load up on protein before for the next 4 hours. So it doesn't register. So he's not going to do that. I think that's unfair. That's the main concern. And also, what was the compensatory? Well, that's my main thing right now. If any of you want to say something about it, I appreciate it. But that's something that it just seems like it's getting kicked down the road. Thank you.
I don't see anyone else, Jerry. Okay. With that, any board comments? Nope. I'll have one. Ms. Capobianco, I'd like to congratulate you on an outstanding job. I knew it when we sat down a couple of years ago, good things were going to happen. I know I challenged you 2 years ago for your robotics and your STEM, and looks like you're coming through. So thank you. And I hope we can continue with our school opening. And I think, Colleen, if I'm not mistaken, I think the new order for next year is no virtual for live. I think that's the state recommendation right now. Excuse me? I can't hear you, Colleen.
Say it again.
I think the recommendation from the governor was already that September we go live without virtual.
So, yeah, the recommendation right now from Governor Murphy is for all students to return in September full-time. That's the current plan right now. I know that there are some caveats with that, depending on health and wellness of our students. So we just have to wait to see what our final adjustments are and recommendations from him and the Department of Education. But if the allowance is there, we are looking forward to those days of full day return of our students.
Okay.
Yes.
Any motion?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
So be it.